Hello, this is Thomas speaking. Yeah, very warm welcome to another accidentally after hours live stream. Today is what day it is? It is Monday. It is Monday, and it is close to 8 p.m. And today I want to cover the topic with two different blog posts I made. I want to combine the topics. I hope that is not too much, and I want to limit the streaming time to half an hour. I hope I succeed. So the first topic of today is about the debugging of a Go operator. And the second one is I want to use that debugging in other blog post I wrote related to the custom resource configuration of an operator. So that's are the two topics, and now I go to my OBS magic. So let me disappear and appear again so that I do not hide anything on the screen. So yes, that's okay. So I will start with the blog post, as I said, debug Kubernetes operator written in Go, and the challenge was and at that time Delve is used for that, but how to set it up and really to get it working, it's not so complex if you know it, and I want to show you how you can use it. First of all, you can find all the blog posts below in the description, so I will put them there, and maybe they are already there. And with that in mind, what you need with your prerequisites, you have installed the Operator SDK. If you use a Mac, the Operator SDK installation with a brew, you should do that. The Operator SDK installation. And you have Visual Studio Code running. I have Visual Studio Code, and also set up the dev debugger, install and set up the dev debugger for Visual Studio Code. So you can see here there are always links. So I always try to provide you and myself also a very easy navigation directly to the information in the blog post, so that you do not have to Google it. So with that in mind, we going to start to download first or clone a project I have related to the that's the directly is a little bit switching directly to the custom resource definition. That's the second topic, and the second topic about the custom resource definition is custom resource are really very essential part of an operator, because you have the custom resource which defines the desired state of your operator. That means what you expect, what you need as an input for your operator, and inside your operator itself you implement it with a controller to achieve that goal. That is very the basic, the very basic, very simple. And inside that blog post I provide some information how the operator SDK helps you to achieve that goal, so that you can really focus on the definition on that, and here I also draw a diagram that you understand how the data is here inside, and then I show how extension could work. And with that in mind, so we are going then later on now going to clone that project. So here I open up now the GitHub project I want to use. So that is the GitHub project, and here I just copy that and I directly here put that in my Visual Studio Code. You can see the Visual Studio Code is there. I have a workspace I use for verify. That means that's my play around workspace. And yeah, let's say git clone, and now we clone it here. So now we have here the operator, yeah. And what the nice thing is, maybe if you haven't noticed that already, what I really like, yeah, I want to highlight it. So here you can just select with the integration to the source control, yeah. You can select which branch you are, and for that we need to use that branch, and that branch contains the already implemented example, yeah. So let's go back a little bit minus. So here's the entire code for that. So, and with that in mind, yeah, so we're a little bit switching, yeah. With that in mind, now we go back to the debug blog post. And what now we are going to do, now we're going to define the debug environment for our project, and that's very easy. So what you do, first of all, if you not already know it, make it a little bit bigger, yeah. So you know we can directly go to the debug, yeah, with that here, yeah. So you can see here we can here go to debug, and when your workspace is not already set up, yeah, you will create a configuration JSON, launch JSON to do that. So now we do that. Here we do that for the verify. So now you can see when you have everything already configured, yeah, you can directly say here, I want to configure it for the environment with Go. And then you can select, yeah, how you want to start it. And what we will do, we will use package open file, and I will show you why we will do that. So now, okay, that's a little bit big. So now you can see that. With that selection, you could select directly an application, yeah, a Go main. And that means here also our operator has a main Go file, yeah, which will be executed to run later on a main, to run here with the main function, to run the operator or the controller and all that stuff here on the local machine. So that is what we will use. And by the fact that the operator has a communication with the Kubernetes cluster, and you not normally start your operator with that, you normally use here what I show in here. You normally do some generate and so on, and you will, when you run it locally, you say here, I might say clear. You say here make install run to run it locally. Yeah. That means you use a make file. Here, what we see here, in the make file, when you do that, executes different different tasks for you, so that you do not directly start the application here. So maybe you can enhance your makefile to start your own dev debugging. What I suggest in my case, what worked, or not only for me, also from others, is that I define here my starting point. I rename it to custom resource debug. Yeah, and then I will copy the location of that file. Yeah, you can see here, copy, and I put it here so that I have that. So I ensure that I will invoke that file here. That means here, yeah, I have to remove it because it searched for that main one and execute it. And then with that, yeah, we are ready to go for starting the debugging. Now we come to the situation. Oh, I need. So now we have it here. So that means when I now here, you can see I can select here the configuration, and then I can directly start it. At the moment, we have not the setup done for the to working with our with the cluster. Yeah, here's my cluster. I run a free Kubernetes cluster on IBM Cloud, my personal IBM cloud account, and that's for free. It's always for 60 days or 40 days. Yeah, or 30 days. Sorry, 30 days. And yeah, and now what we will do here, we will go that we will first execute the needed creations inside the inside our project. That means even if it's done there, so just to ensure that it works also on your side, that you can say make generate. So yeah, sure. I now also need to go into the right project folder here. So now here, make generate. So now it's generating modules. It does all the needed tasks. Yeah, so that's for the setup of the operator. You can see getting what is needed. Then we say once more, create the manifests. Make click here. So now everything is prepared, and now we can run our operator the first time, and the first time it's not the debugging. So that is just to ensure what you will see when I just make these a little bit bigger. When we start our operator with the make and install run, you will see that that it will be it will deploy the the configurations here, what we have with what is here with the multi-tendency, so, and also the role-based access and so on. And that is what we will see now in the execution by install run. So let me start. You can see it goes here, and it downloads again, the needed packages if it's not already set up right. Yeah, so let us take a look here. So you can see it's got it once again. So what it did, it creates, and now you can see, go to domain, and that was here with the kube controls, CRD, and that is all. Yeah, there was not a lot to deploy, as you can see here. When I go here, create, and it creates the custom resource definition. So you can see here the custom resource definition was created here inside our Kubernetes cluster. Let us see now here. That's the Kubernetes cluster. And when we go to the Kubernetes cluster, you can see here in a custom resource definition. Now that is called here tendency font, and that is our custom resource definition at the moment here. So we have. So in our case now, we want to create a custom resource object. That means later on we will find here an object. So that means we need to apply a configuration for that, and we do that. Yeah, we want to observe that in our controller, and I say here clear. So, and now we are going to create a breakpoint in the controller. So in our reconcile. So, and now I go to the information how the extension of the definition of the custom resource worked, what I meant with that. So going back to the blog post, the extension. So it is more or less simple. Yeah, let's take a look here. We have different struct definitions for the API definition of our operator. That here is for our custom resource definition, the basic, and then we can define, or that is already defined for us, what is color coding, what you can see here with these orange, with light orange or brown. You can see this is automatically created by the structs, the basic structs automatically created by the Operator SDK, and this here I created by myself, yeah, inside the blog post, and that's in that file, not in the controller. That's here called in the API definition. So that's here with the types, and here we can see that's the specification. Yeah, that's my new section I created. That is the status, and here you can see, here do I reference my section, my extension, my custom extension to the custom resource definition by myself here with that part. So how does that look inside an example configuration for the instantiation later? So we have it here. So when we take a look at that, I add, or not I add, with that code, when I do a creation, with that code, automatically we are enabled to have that section here, and that value, yeah, is provided, and then I can use that to specify my own organization of custom resource. I don't want to talk about does that make sense or must not make sense. It depends how you organize your custom resource, yeah, and what is your objective. And I just want to show how is it technical possible. And with that in mind, now we go to the debugging. So, and now we start the debugging session with that configuration, and then later on we will apply and we will create an object of our multi-tenancy example. So that is what we will apply, and we will figure out if this value is accessible, and that is what we will do now in combination with the debugging. So let us take a look here in the controller code again, and that is here where I do have this logging information where I show that values. That means what you can see here, what I did with the creation. You can see here with that definition, you can see my section and value. Now it's available with my definition of my custom resource. So that is my extension. Okay, so let us start now the debugging. And therefore it's important that you need to know, yeah, you go to the debug session. And I do not understand why I cannot make this really bigger. So I'm sorry for that. So I hope you can read it. Yeah. So now we are debugging. Yeah. And what we now need, so going back to a terminal session, I create a new terminal session. And in that terminal session, yeah, we will just apply. Yeah, so that is the command. We will just apply our example here. You can see that is what I do. That means we will create an instance. And when that happens, so that means when we're starting to interact with the cluster here, with the cluster, and creating a custom resource definition which is related to our operator, yeah, then our controller, our reconcile gets active and notice that, and then we can take a look at that, and then we can see is the information we provided available. So let's go to that, and I say here, now I provide that, and you can see immediately here I'm now in the debugging. And the cool thing now is really I can add, for example, some watches. That is example here, these multi-tenant, the tenancy front end. Copy that, and now I add an add and watch for that expression. And now we can take a look here already what is already given. Yeah, that's really good. So we have specification, yeah, section, and at the moment we see there is no name given, yeah, at the moment. Yeah, the reason for that, why we don't see anything, is the context is not executed at the moment. When we go to the next step, the data is loaded, yeah, what we applied. So now let's go to the next step. Oh, yeah, now we see, okay, with the next step, we see, okay, the front-end display name and all is given, and now it works. And with that, you really can see it is very, very useful, yeah, with the debugging, that you really can observe the steps and see the variable information, add watches, and so on, yeah, and going step by step, in depth, and so on, for your operator development and do the local debugging. And that is, yeah, for sure, that is very good. So, and here we can execute it, and with that, yeah, everything is done. And it for the reconciler, yeah, you know, the reconciler always reconciles on the given information, and we can take a look what happened here. We have now our object instantiated. My section is not really relevant. It was just to test that it's possible to create own sections here, and now yeah, it is possible, I know that. And now we can see the application. If you want to see how the application works and so on, there I also have an yeah, other purpose for the getting started, but that's at the moment it's not relevant. So I can I will delete it, yeah. So I will also delete the resource. So, and when the resource, yeah, was deleted, for sure we have to go that, yeah. So now going back to the console, can verify is going to be terminated. Okay, that works. So what we now going to do, now we stop that, and I want to show you a little bit more in detail how that with the extension of the custom resource works. So we do another change. So at the moment, we have a structure inside our custom resource. Let me go back. Where's the config? You can see here. And maybe we want to not to create our own section here. We want to extend, for example, the specification. Yeah, but make the specification more manageable, so that it's really like a human readable file. So now I would say, let me say the display name is we call it for the front-end application. So, and now we say here, first of all, we define an own. So let me go here, front-end status. Oh, that is so big, so I need to make it resize it a little bit, not too much. So front-end specification. So now I create here I call it multi-tenancy front-end. I call it maybe the application. Yeah, multi-tenancy front-end application. And here we now use but that's not so good. I now see when I start with the deploying that, I have also to reorganize the rest of the application because I used that. So I will not use the use data. I just provide some additional data, a display name, and I would say I call it, for example, additional message. Yeah. So, and the additional message for our front end application, yeah, needs to be named here also, because that is what you're saying, yeah. But how it appears inside the custom resource definition is defined here. So we can say here additional message. So that is. And now we go to the front end specification, to the the tendency front end specification. Have that here. And what I really like also with the integration to GitHub, we can see what is changed. So that what we changed, so you can see, oh, we have inserted that. So, and now we're going to add that that value for us. So that means here we say here we will have I call it so of the type, I say here, no tendency, I say it front-end application, yeah, of the type here, tendency application. You can see that is the type we have. And we say here that it will be represented as application. So then we would see we have a section, yeah, of that type. We call application, and here we can configure an additional message. And so we have that, and now what we now can see when we execute in a terminal. Now we wanna go here back. Yeah, the generate. Now, what a good thing for us is with the specification, when we say generate, now we can take a look here. The deep copy was generated. That means here there was information inserted to the source code, how to interpret all these information later on from YAML specification. And when we now say create the manifests, it creates the needed YAML, yeah, to deploy our custom resource definition to the cluster. So we also do not need to touch it, but yeah, it's generated automatically for us. So when we do that, we have here make manifests. So okay, make manifests, and now you see that's here. And now we see how it was created. Yeah, that was inserted. And what I haven't done, I just copied here. So maybe we can do once again a create and manifest. So that name doesn't really reflect what it does, so I didn't update the comment. And you also see that the comments were also reused, and that is also a reason for later on inside the that's in the YAML it's also used. You can see that is for the specification here, so to understand it. So here defines, I can say, an additional parameter for the front end application, for example. So, and let us just execute both things again. So it's updated for the front end application, and it's given here. Okay, with that we can save it. And what we can do now, because we know that here we still have this older definition of the front-end specification. I deleted. And now I say clear. I can say install make install run. You can see it will be deployed. So we can stop that for now. It was deployed. We can also take a look now here in to our specification. So here, that's the new specification we have here with the updated configuration stuff. You can see here. And the next, what we can do, we can go to the source code we have here and just copy and paste to the next logger, and we say here additional message in spec. So now we can take a look here. What's available? We can here as how it is called. It was called here tendency front end spec. So we need to take a look here, the deletion, not the deletion. Front end, it's not my section. We need the specification. The specification, my section. So we need the spec, and then we need front end display. You can see front end application. That is how we name it. And here we have the additional message. Okay. So what we need to do in that here, we need to do the specification like we did with in our definition. I said that is called inside the YAML application, and in that YAML, then the next is here the additional message. And here we can say my message. Okay, that should work. Yeah. Let us find out if I did something wrong. Yeah. So with all that in mind, we should be able to execute it once again and observe it with the debugging. So now we go to run. The configuration here. So it starts again. So at the moment, yeah, we have not applied the YAML. So now let's see if I did something wrong in the specification itself. So here, clear. Is there complaints about anything? No, it's created. Okay, now let's see what happens. We see once again, yeah, nothing is. We have here also the specification. We have the front end application, additional message. When we go through that, okay, we can see here my message, and it works. Yeah, this was a combination of of going through the debug with an example with the setup, and hopefully it was useful for you, because I really like to understand how to extend here the important stuff with the custom resource definition. So, and you can see here we changed it. Now we extended here our specification and named it differently. Yeah, I did name it differently, yeah, just to show you. You do it, and you can see when you use really different names, what is used in the spec, and you use it differently inside your type, yeah, definition, yeah, please remember what it is, because you have to access it inside your code. And if some people are talking to you and asking, yeah, what's that, and you have to map it, yeah, to make that, yeah, documented. Yeah. So, and with that in mind, yeah, so the basics of the two topics are here in that blog posts, yeah, and this is just support for that two blog posts. And I go back here and make here I'm right back again. And yeah, I hope that was useful for you, yeah. And I would say, yeah, see you next time for an accidentally live stream. And if you like it, yes, subscribe, ask me some questions. Maybe I will directly create a video or answer it in a live stream. And I wish you a nice evening, yeah, and see you in the next after hours. I say bye.